Hi, and we are recording. This is Monday, March 2nd of 2026 already. It's going to be a crazy year so far. We're only in the third month of the year, and I have to admit, it feels like a a whole year is already over. So anyway, want to show you guys the new image that we are putting on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, do that as well. You can see all my videos back there. This is, of course, a TRIA event. And I would do a poor job if I didn't promote TRIA. TRIA stands for Triangle Real Estate Investment Association. We are a non-profit. If you haven't joined yet, then feel free to join. $20 a month or $200 a year to join. We do 18 events throughout the month. You see this event is on there as well, as you can see here, and these are all the other events. But today, we want to talk about mortgage rates. We want to talk about what is the market doing, what is happening in Iran, what is happening after the State of the Union, and where is the real estate market going. Before I do that, a little disclaimer: this is for entertainment purposes only. You have to do your own research. This is my opinion and only my opinion. This is not the opinion of TRIA or any other association. This is purely me sharing my experience with you and how I feel about today's market. So normally, when you go into a real a war, and we have to talk about that as well, because for those that, including myself, that call what is happening in Iran a war, it's not a war, it's an operation. And I forgot the name of it, an operation. So war is normally voted in by the House or Supreme by the government, but it's not a war. A war is also often something that is going to last a long time. And maybe the only good thing about this one is that the indication so far is that it is not going to last long. We have seen it in the past, of course, with Afghanistan and previous other wars. It was not going to take very long. But I think what is helping us in this case is that today, or in this year, this is, of course, the midterm year. And one thing that we can't have happening is inflation to go rise very high, and of course to spend a lot of money that we don't have, because in the president's campaign program, a war was he was not going to war, or he was going to very limit the war. So we call this an operation, but it is a very uncertain time. So when what I'm going to do during today's Q&A is I'm going to call Iran what is happening a war, knowing that I do understand that this is an operation and not a war. Bear with me. I understand it's confusing. I'm trying to keep it as clear as I can. Normally, during a war or an economic uncertainty, when we go into an operation, you see that real estate becomes a safe haven for investors. You see that investors are going away from the stock market. They're going from the stock market into the real estate market as a safe haven. They want to secure their investment, so they invest in two things: real estate and often treasury-backed bonds. So that gives them some safety. It's normally, when we go into an operation or a war, you see that there's an inflationary period where we're spending more, there's less tax cuts, there is pressure on the economy. In this instance, in today's instance, and with Iran, it is the pressure on oil prices and how oil prices are going to impact real estate, in particular new construction. New construction, of course, driven by goods that still have to be made, and goods that also have to be shipped. So that is normal. Also, what we see often is that the real estate market will shift. So there are some buyers that are going to be sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the uncertainty to pass. So you have investors looking to buy more, but you have traditional buyers that might slow down. So want to give you that. And with that in mind, I personally have to admit that when I opened before this preparation of this meeting, when I opened, I like to look at the mortgage daily news. When I opened the mortgage daily news, that I saw that interest rates had spiked, and I'm like, hold on, we were just at 5.9 Friday when the market closed. I was happy, I was excited. We were gonna go into what is called the spring market. The daylight savings is coming upon us next weekend. And we're after the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is normally the trigger that you see real estate slowly increasing. With rates at being at 5.9, I was excited. I was ready for the spring market. I was done with all the snow, all the cold, definitely here in North Carolina. I know we can't complain. New York was hit harder. But anyway, I was ready to, and so very surprised to see mortgage rates jumping 14 points. Now we're at, 13 points. We're sitting at 6.2. So I wanted to understand, why is that happening? That is not anything that I've read. That's not anything that any of the people with experience say that normally happens. So I wanted to dive in a little bit deeper. So that's what I'm going to do here on this call here for the next few minutes. Why is this happening? I will touch briefly on the State of the Union and the housing market as well. So what is happening? Prices are up, mortgage rates are up, and the reason mortgage rates are up is because of the inflation. And which inflation? Well, you guessed it, it's the oil inflation. Between Friday, this is the Friday, the price of a barrel of oil was sitting at $67. As we are talking, the prices went down a little bit more, but we were sitting at $65, $65. At the peak today, we were sitting at $73 a barrel of crude oil. So that is a similar trend that you see here. And as you see, well, we're here on the call, that number is still going up and down a little bit. So wanted to look then at the 10-year treasury. What if mortgage rates are up, the 10-year treasury must be up. Huh? And there you are. 10-year treasury up as well. Now, what I see here between this, because if you zoom into today, you see that we spiked, and we spiked a little bit again, and then we're coming down. It looks like the 10-year treasury throughout the day is following the oil. So 10-year treasury is following the oil. Again, 10-year treasury, if the 10-year treasury is down, meaning more and more people are buying the 10-year treasury bond, means mortgage rates will go down, for those that don't know that. So when the 10-year treasury goes up, meaning not a lot of people are buying the 10-year treasury, so interest rates on your 10-year treasury have to go up to appeal to people. Mortgage rates go up as well. So I wanted to take a little bit deeper dive. It's clear that today's war operation is different than any others. I looked at the war in 91 and in 2003, and both instances interest rates went down. So wanted to look at unemployment. Of course, I looked at 4.3. So there was not a massive change. Of course, that is not changing straight away. Look at the NASDAQ, because everything that I heard when I woke up Saturday morning, I don't know if it's similar to you guys, but when I woke up Saturday morning, I was like, okay, so what is this going to mean? What just happened? What the operation in Iran? What does that mean for my wallet? Where do I need to invest? And based on that, I went and bought a few stocks in oil companies, because if oil goes up, revenue goes up, the stock will go up. I was surprised to see, based on all the research that I did, that if we were going to go war, if it's uncertain times, the NASDAQ would collapse, the stock market would collapse. Oh, well, I guess that didn't happen. It rose by 0.3%. So far, anything we have seen, and I laugh a little bit because I'm sick and tired of this, right? Because since COVID, we have been talking about unprecedented. We have never seen this before. This is unheard of. This has never happened before. Yeah, here we are again, right? This is something we have never seen before, because in a war, the stock market's supposed to crash, interest rates supposed to go down, and uncertainty supposed to rise, and therefore a particular buyer comes back to the real estate market. Now, the positive news is, the good news is, if there is, right? Like, bear with me. I don't like war. I don't like operations. But the positive news is here is that I do think that this is very short-lived. I do think the operation is short-lived, and I don't want to be diving into the uncertain or political stuff. But I do see that mortgage and that oil prices are already coming down from the peak just in one day. I do see that the 10-year treasury by the end of the closing of the business was trending down, right? Now we can look at here at 5 days. So we were still trending majorly down. This is just five business days, right? So we were doing really, really well. There was already a certain amount of, we knew kind of by the end of February that the tensions between Iran and the US and Israel were increasing. And I believe that's what you already saw here. So I think the operation is short-lived. I do think the spike in interest rates is short-lived. And I overall think that this operation, the war, the uncertainty is not going to have a long-term impact on the real estate market. I do think that here in North Carolina, I don't know where you're watching me, but here in North Carolina, that the weather is finally changing. We have finally left colder days, the snow days. So I do think that we are going to see activity in real estate pick up. So far about operations and about the war. Then let's go back to what I mentioned as well. The State of the Union. State of the Union, I have to admit, I haven't watched the whole thing. I did watch the summary, but I could hardly find anything about real estate in there. There was just a little blurb that was mentioned in there about real estate and about making real estate affordable, and Trump trying to convince Congress that large multi-investors should not be able to purchase rental portfolios anymore. That's also still not approved. But there was not really any news in there that I was like, wow, that's going to change, right? We all know that the Fed is voting again on a rate change. I don't think that the Fed is going to lower rates as long as Powell is in office. And as we all know, or most of us know, Powell term is up in May. So if we're going to see anything really drastically change as far as mortgage rates, interest rates, we're going to expect that to happen from May on. I do want to let everybody know that in the last 6 times, so it started in September of 24, November, December of 24, and then in 25 we had 3 rate cuts. Every time there was a rate cut, mortgage rates went up. So mortgage rates just start going up after that. So where are we as far as real estate? Real estate was slow. We dipped. We were one of the lowest months ever, despite having the lowest interest rates. Oh, I have to correct myself there. January was one of the slowest month ever. We saw a dip in real estate activity, and then the February numbers are not out. I know it's March. February real estate numbers always come by the end of March, so we'll talk about it in the next meeting. So January numbers that we just got were very disappointing, and then after, of course, the interest rate drops to a 3-year low, 5.99. We hadn't seen those numbers since 2022. As you can see, the North and the South were the two geographic areas that were where real estate activity slowed down the most. Now we all know that the entire East Coast was hit by severe for North Carolina, well, it was hit by winter weather, a lot of rain, and we always see that the showings are down. Now I do have to admit that, yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm still feeling positive about the real estate market. I do feel that we're off to a slower start. It is really going to start pulling teeth. It's not like, in December we saw a major uptick in activity, and And everybody had expected that, oh, when rates drop below 6, right? Like in 25, when we start flirting with the lower 6, we saw activity spike. I don't think that that is going to be the case anymore. I think we're not going to see a spike. We're going to go up in activity. I think we're going to do more than last year, and that has been my prediction during the last call um, as well. But I don't think that all of a sudden we're going to be at 5.9. That people be like, "Yoo-hoo, let's go!" Like what happened in December of last year. So, and again, already looked at some unemployment numbers here. Payroll rose by 130 jobs, so that was good. I'm curious to see whether that's going to be for February. But so overall, really short to summarize it, I was very disappointed to hear hardly anything about the real estate in the State of the Union, about Iran. I think, or Iran will be short-lived. Interest rates, the spike in interest rates will be short-lived. The jump in oil prices might stick around a little bit longer. Definitely for fuel, for airplanes is coming. The majority of that is coming from that region. So fuel jet is mainly produced in that region. So with that, I will be stopping my presentation. And hand it over to you guys and see what you guys think as far what you guys have for me as questions. So when you have a question, put it down in the text box. Everybody has a text box in there in the top right, bottom right corner. Type in your question, and if I'm at your question, you can come off of mute or you stay off of mute or stay on mute, whatever you want to do. So, Finn. The only thing certain in the market is uncertainty. Yeah, well, wise words from Vin. The only uncertainty is certainty is the uncertainty in the market. Yes, I agree. But again, I think that this war or operation, as they officially call it, is going to slow things a little bit down in the sense that we have what I just tried to say earlier is that yes, we are at 5.9. Or we were at 5.9% interest rate. I think we will be back there soon. And due to the uncertainty, we are not seeing a massive flood of people that are flooding to the market. And as the NAR says here in their report, with mortgage rates near 6%, an additional 5.5 million households are now able to qualify for a mortgage. Right, so the lower the interest rate, the lower their monthly payment, more people can afford it. So we need to lower interest rates. Did you touch on the State of the Union? Yes, I did. Takeaways. PK is asking that takeaways are like I was disappointed what he said about the housing market. The only thing that I really heard or what he was trying to make a case for is that large investors, institutional investors, should not be able to purchase in real estate, that he was trying to convince Congress. I think, guys, we're gonna have so far this year we have seen he has captured the Mexican president. He has gone to Europe saying I want Greenland. He has gone to Iran. We have seen snowstorms. We've seen a lot of stuff this year. I think because this is the last. Have our political environment is in 2 years. We're up for midterms. I think we're going to see a lot of things happening this year that might not be able to. That he said he might not be able to push through Congress next year. So we're going to see a lot of things happening this year. Of course, we're going to see that the Fed chair is going to change. And me as excitement junkies almost. I long for a little bit of a quieter year, a little bit more boring year, so I can predict the real estate a little bit better as well. So, PK, I don't know if I touched base on your question, but I don't. I other than that he's trying to push through Congress that institutional buyers shouldn't be able to buy real estate anymore, which we can talk about it as well. I think it's a wrong decision. Other than that, I haven't seen anything in the State of the Union that I'm like, oh, that's really, he didn't really touch base on real estate.
So when it means like large institutional buyers,
Yeah,
what that exactly mean? Do you know the number by chance? Anybody or in the call?
I think it's 50 properties or more that he's talking about.
Okay.
And but you can argue if you look at the numbers. I forgot the exact percentage, but the percentage is high up. It's really high up there. If you look at the last 2 years, what investors and predominantly mom and pop shops, but what the majority of home transactions over the last 2 years, right? You can argue that investors kept the real estate market alive. Otherwise, we would have had a market that was even worse than 2008, right? And if you join me since 2004 on sorry, if you have joined me since 2024 on this podcast or on this Q&A, you know that the real estate numbers for the year 24 and the real estate numbers for the year 25 are not much different than 2008, right? Like in 2008, we just did over 4 million or 4.1 million units nationwide, and in the last 2 years, we have not been able to reach that number. So if you take investors out of the equation, the last 2 years would have been worst compared to 2008
Exactly.
if you do not consider investors. So it is a surprise, but again, it's not pushed to Congress yet. It's not there yet, and let's see if it even is going to be in a bill. Mark says you recently shared the Raleigh South announcement regarding the stadium and other things coming, but have you seen any plans yet? Well, the plans. Let me see if I can pull it up here, Mark. Raleigh South. So there was an article last week or the week prior that Raleigh South in the Triangle Business Journal, which I think is a good. I like the Triangle Business Journal as a really good resource for real estate. First and foremost, there is a website downtown south has some renderings and has the plans there. Let's talk break ground. I don't know if the news is up on here. So here you can see a snapshot, 50,000 square feet of lease spaces, and they're building an MLS or a soccer stadium. And I believe it's an MLS stadium. So the whole thing started again that there is a soccer club in Cary that they want to have MLS status. They currently have a stadium with only 10 to 15,000 seats. They need to have a bigger stadium, and this whole deal got new life in it. All I know from I can't find the article so quick. All I know, Mark, is that the Triangle Business Journal projects that we are starting that this project will start breaking ground in 2026, and that the project is finished in 2030. Of course, the other big news that is happening in Raleigh right now is that the Omni Hotel is breaking ground. So if you are in Raleigh and you're around the convention center, you see a lot of construction happening there, and there's a lot of construction happening because not only the convention center is expanding, so the amphitheater is moving, but also the Omni Hotel. They're going to have 600 rooms, and I believe it's a 42 or 38 level tower, Omni Hotel Raleigh. So let's search that as well. Oh, sorry, 27 stories, 600 rooms in downtown Raleigh. So for those that haven't seen that news yet, that is major, guys. These are major investments in Raleigh, and therefore Raleigh and North Carolina continuously to be. Got something in my eye. Sorry, North Carolina continues to be on the top four destinations for people to move to. So this is happening already. This is some of the articles that you see on social media. So it's happening right here, right in front of that beautiful building. I hope it doesn't block that view. Was it an answer, Mark?
Yes, thanks.
Yep. So guys, let me do one thing. I'm super excited about Raleigh South, but let me show you where it happens. So Raleigh South. This is Raleigh South. This is Raleigh. Here's 4041, the Sam's Club. Raleigh South is going to be sitting right here, right in this area. The stadium around this corridor and hotels and everything here. It's supposed to be people that are involved in it say, or people that have some knowledge about it say that it is going to be even better than North Hills. And North Hills, of course, a very beautiful area how they design it. Walkability is key, and walkability in Raleigh. And if you look at the numbers in what buyers are looking for, the walkability of people able to walk from their house to facilities is going to be key. So when you buy a house, when you flip a house, or when you're looking to invest in a house, look at the walkability from your property to a downtown and stuff like that. Carlotta is asking me, I'm looking at a residential property where an addition has been added to the back of the home. The addition is unpermitted. There are light fixtures in the ceiling. There is an AC unit in the wall, but no HVAC there. What is the process of permitting an addition, and what will it cost? Please come off of mute. That is hard to say, Carlotta, because every jurisdiction, every city, every municipality handles those things differently. But if it's not, to your point, and you point out a few things, if it's not a heated area, or it needs to be, you need to be able to heat it and cool it before it becomes a livable space. So yeah, you want to look into that. As far as permits, you might have to open up all the walls and show that everything was done up to code.
Where do I start though with trying to permit this? Yeah, where do I start with trying to permit this area? Who do I call?
You go to the permanent department. What is the city?
Raleigh.
Raleigh. Oh, so yeah, you. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Good luck.
Oh no.
Yeah. My first flip in Raleigh, I did it with a partner, and it was our first flip, so we had no idea what we were doing. But the flip that we did was on slab, and I thought we had all the permits in hand and had the CO, but during the closing process, I was on a contract. I learned that we did not file for plumbing permits.
Okay.
We had a beautiful walk-in shower with glass.
Oh no.
Yeah. I was there with a hammer late at night, getting all the concrete and tile out to show the inspector the next day all the plumbing that was behind it. So worst case scenario, which I'm going to prepare you for worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, they are going to make you open up everything and make sure everything is done up to code, right? But that is also, and I don't know if any framing has been done, but you need to show it later.
It's the whole room somebody's been enjoying.
So how long it hasn't been there already?
I'm not sure. The house was built in '89.
Yeah. And is it a garage or is it just a separate building?
It's a whole room that's been attached to the back of the home. So it's like a great room. You could put, a table over here and a couch over there. It spans the back of the house.
Did they frame in like a screen in porch, or just decided to add something on?
Nope. It has sliding glass doors to the backyard, and it does have windows. And like I said, it has 3 light fixtures up in the ceiling. And so it's a room. It looks like a room,
Outlets?
I have not seen the outlets. I've only been looking at pictures. I hadn't visited yet.
Okay. So
All right.
I would start reaching out to the so is it in city limits or is it in Wake County or is it within the city limits?
City limits.
Okay, yeah,
It
then
is.
then you need to go. So One Plaza, downtown Raleigh, Moore Square in that area. That's where One Plaza is the building where you can visit the people. But you can also write them an email. Your quickest is to go to One Plaza and try to talk to somebody. But if you want, or you can try to call somebody and see if somebody answers and gives you an answer.
Okay.
Will she go to the 4th floor?
I don't know exactly the right the it's either the fourth.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there. But when you, yeah, I would call the customer service and say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Where do I go? And they can tell you if it's the 4th or the 5th floor or something like that. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you very much.
absolutely. Good luck with that, and make sure you run your numbers right. Make sure you run your numbers conservatively. So cool.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions from anybody? No more questions in the chat, and I know it takes you guys always a little bit to warm up because we normally sit here for another hour. But if not, and you guys let me off easy tonight, that'll be good as well. So any other questions you might have can be about real estate. I can evaluate a deal with you. Can it be about Operation Iran, or it's called differently? But you tell me what we're going to talk about.
So Eric, this is Vineet. So you
Yeah.
mentioned about investing in stocks. I think you said NASDAQ or something, or
Yeah.
oil shares. What do you think about precious metals, gold and silver specifically?
Yeah. You see
So
see
that's safe
that
haven. Yeah, safe haven.
Yeah.
Also, yeah.
that demand goes up during uncertain times, and I think gold was recently traded at I think it was in January. Gold was traded at a price it had never traded.
Yeah, it touched
for.
55. I think today it went up till 53 today.
Yeah.
So it was
yeah.
up.
So you,
Yeah. Mhm.
in uncertain times, precious metal, treasury bonds, and real estate, you see that goes up. But again, it has been a crazy Monday because again, oil jumped, interest rates jumped, treasury jumped. So it's been different than and I'm not saying that I have experience. I just look at different resources. The people that think that they have that have knowledge about things like this,
Yeah.
the predictions, it's been completely
Yeah, it's
different
just
than the
crazy.
predictions.
Yeah. Even like gold went up, silver went down, crypto went
Oh,
up.
wow.
So I don't know how market was really
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Hey, Vin.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Jim McClure. I deal with gold and silver bullion on real estate transactions. Last year, I took a deposit of 4 ounces of gold as a down payment on a property that I was selling. And back then it was $2,300 an ounce.
Wow.
And, but the interesting thing is they were U.S. currency labeled at $50 per ounce.
Yeah, they're a little more expensive. You can buy those at Costco. $50 bullion coin. They are, I think, 100 or 200 bucks more than the normal gold.
Right. But
Yeah.
the deposit that I took had a market value back then. It was about $10,000. I think it was 5 1-ounce $50 gold pieces. So the U.S. currency value was $250. The market value for gold was $10,000. It has doubled in the last year, and I'm just sitting on it because I can use it in the future.
Yeah.
I like dealing in gold and silver bullion.
I'm liking it too. That's why I wanted to get Ed's perspective. What does he think? Because he touched everything except precious metals, and precious metals are kind of a different thing. But gold went up 70% last year. Actually, 2025, it went up 70%.
And what was the most uncertain year so far?
What's your question?
No, I'm saying like 2025 was one of the most uncertain economic years, right? There was
Okay,
just a lot
yeah.
of uncertainty.
Yeah, I mean, that's correct. And the highest jump gold has seen, I think, after 79 or something was last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you for that, Jim. Thank you for that, Vin. Any other questions you guys have? And I know you guys are not gonna let me off easy. So
Did any of you get a copy of John Hyer's email that came out about the law that was passed in Ohio for wholesalers?
I got a mail from another attorney called Jeff Watson. He's doing a class for $200 for wholesalers in Ohio. I'm happy to forward if anybody wants to do that course. You know, $200.
Armageddon in Ohio.
Jeff Watson. Jeff Watson is doing a course there, online course.
Yeah.
But the law changed there. You know, I think something very stringent has happened. So wholesalers will have a tough time. They will either have to get their realtor license or something. There's a big disclosure in bold or something he was talking about.
It's
Right.
it's always happening, and something is going to change, right? Like here, Jim, what was that law that we were trying to pass, or that they were trying to pass here? Some 40B or some wholesale deal that didn't make it either last year. I remember that we made all our members in TRIA aware. At some point. You see it in South Carolina. You see it now in Ohio. You see it already in Virginia. I think North Carolina is one of the fewer states in this region where wholesaling has not been restricted as much as in different states. So
Yeah, but it may be coming if
it's
gets to be a problem.
Yeah.
They'll regulate it like they regulate everything else.
correct. And that's my perception as well. So if you're a wholesaler out there, make a lot of money, do a lot of transactions now that you can, knowing that times are going to change. And you know, I didn't agree with the last law that they were trying to push through. The last law that in last year there was the potential that we were getting another deal around wholesale as well. It made it very far, and it was very scary at up to a certain point, but it never made it. And all they're trying to do is trying to take the bad cats out of the industry, but the people that they were trying to target would not be impacted by that bill. So I'm happy that the bill didn't pass. What they're trying to do last year in North Carolina is that wholesalers needed to have a real estate license. The majority or the major wholesale dealers out here in North Carolina operate already with a real estate license, either by a broker and they work as an assistant under that broker. I'm thinking I won't. By the way, I won't mention names. You guys can figure that out. But that bill didn't pass it. But there is something coming that wholesalers in the future will have to be licensed, or they have to disclose that they are selling their contracts. There's a bunch of bad wholesalers out there. There's also a ton of good ones out there, and the good people always are impacted in a bad way by people that are trying to make money in the wrong way. So it's was that what you're referring to, Jim?
Correct. Yeah. It's just basically, it was kind of a shot over the bow for particularly real estate brokers that are also doing wholesaling. Could come back to bite them pretty hard. And there's the summary somebody put up on the screen of what he just put out.
Yeah. So if you don't know John Hyer, John Hyer is a very well-known real estate tax law. Is he a CPA, John, or is he just a real estate attorney? I think he's a CPA as well.
He's both, actually. He's an attorney and a CPA. He's really,
he does both.
Yeah. I once was at a seminar of him in Atlanta for 2 days. Luckily, it didn't go on for 3 days because my head was hurting after that. Because he's
relocating to Charlotte. Yeah.
Oh,
relocating
yeah. I think he struck a deal. It's funny that he still sends out these emails because I thought he struck a deal with a company that basically gave him so much money that they negotiated that he was not able to do any other stuff anymore. So they paid him a filthy amount of money for that. But yeah, good for him. Any other questions or comments or anything else?
Drink bourbon with him. He loves bourbon.
Yeah, he loves his bourbon. Yeah. Anybody else? I see a lot of new people on here that I haven't heard, and I know you joined to ask a question. So don't let me get off this easy. Yeah, Marianne, go ahead, and then I come back to you, PK, after that.
Oops, hi.
Hi.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you go to see a property and you need to bring a contractor,
Mhm.
do you pay the contractor for that visit? No.
I wouldn't. No,
And
I
what
wouldn't.
is
But I
different,
understand that that your hands are kind of tied, right? Like you're trying to get a CMA, competitive market analysis from a realtor, and they might not want to give it to you, and the contractor says, yeah, well, who are you as beginner investor? And I did a show and tell last Saturday, Marianne. I know you were there. Vin was there. PK was there. Several of you guys were there. I'm doing another show and tell in Raleigh on the 28th of March. If you want to sign up, go to the TRIA website that I showed you here in the beginning of the presentation. And the reason I said that is I said it in the beginning of I know real estate is going to get busier. People are going to get busier. From the 130,000 new jobs that they created, construction is always one of the top leading sectors in the job market that is growing the most. Why is it important? As I said it during the show and tell, it's like if during COVID you went to a real estate agent and said, hey, give me a CMA. I like to see if you can earn my business. The realtor would be like, see you later, right? Like for you, 20 other people that want to list a property, and I'm making easy money. Now that the market is slow, now that the realtors are not doing as much, I think, don't quote me on this, but it is like single percentage digits of realtors. So 3 or 5% of realtors that, or people that have a real estate license, do multiple deals a year, do 2 or more deals a year. So the majority of realtors that have their license don't do many transactions. So realtors and contractors should be easier right now to get to a deal, or say, hey, can I FaceTime you? Or hey, can I take pictures? What you're trying to get is you're trying to get a guesstimate. And then with that guesstimate, if you're in the ballpark of what you can offer to the seller, then maybe you say, hey, before I close, I need you to go there and give me a true number because I'm now under contract.
Were you asking the builder to go to give you an idea of repairs or value of the property?
No, just repairs, like an estimate of what I need done.
Yeah, she's trying to buy a flip property. Right, Marianne?
Right. So you're saying you would bring a contractor, but you wouldn't pay him
No, let him earn the business.
or her. Yeah.
Yeah, or her. Sorry. Yeah.
He can give you a proposal of what it would cost, and then it's up to you to decide if you want to hire him based upon that.
Right. Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking like still that's work for the contractor. So why would they go along without getting paid? I'm saying it's work just to go and look. That's his time or her time.
If I was paid by the hour, being self-employed,
Mhm.
then I would make 7 figures a year, right? Like the best return on my time, if I want to get an hourly rate, is being in a W-2. What I mean with that is, as a as a self-employed individual, there is going to be times that you're going to have to invest to build that new connection, and build a new relation. I'm not saying that we as investors should take advantage of contractors, of CPAs, of realtors, and just ask anything for free. My motto, and you know the Marianne, because you and I speak a lot. My motto is always lead with generosity, and if generosity is not reciprocated, then bye-bye, move on to the next one. But so if you're generous and you truly have the intentions of hiring that contractor, and the contractor comes to you and gives you a bid, and if you can't work with it, move on, and you can't work with it, but then give that person your honest feedback. Say, hey, sorry, this is way over my budget. I'm trying to stick. This is my budget. This is what I'm trying to stick in. They will do it for free. And if they don't do it for free and too busy, good for them. They're a good contractor. Keep them on your radar for the next time. But find somebody that has the time that they can invest in you to give you that quote.
Okay, thank you.
I have never paid, and now that I do more flips, I don't go. It's my realtor and my contractor that go look at the property. So there will be a stage in life that you will be there.
Okay, do we have any contractors on the call? Be interested?
Good call. Look at you. I thought you were not good at selling. You did a good job. All right. Any other questions like that? Those are questions I like. PK says comments on Florida lawmakers fast track property tax elimination plan for primary homeowners. I'm curious to see what other people think about this. I think if you eliminate property taxes, it's cheaper interest rates are going to drive prices up. If property taxes are eliminated, it's going to me, maybe Jim, I don't know if you can elaborate on this, but or Ed, I see him on the call as well. If properties become more affordable because now property taxes are eliminated, which I'm a huge fan of, because you should own your property at some point. But if property taxes are eliminated, I think it will drive up prices. Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I know constitutionally, a lot of people say that the income tax and the property tax are illegal because the Constitution only talks about commerce taxes on commerce, the transactions that you're doing, not what you're sitting there holding. Because eventually you could lose everything just through taxes by not generating revenue to offset the taxes. And some states are already moving in that direction to eliminate property tax and shifting it over to sales tax. I definitely would love it. I pay a lot in property taxes.
Yeah. So guys, I think if again, when properties become more affordable, either to interest rates or to fewer payments, more people, it's what is it? Demand and ask, right? Like if the demand becomes higher for real estate, prices will go up. We just all came out of COVID, right? And we saw the demand for housing rise, and therefore we saw prices rise the fastest we have ever seen. So I think it's good. PK, I hope, to Jim's point, I hope that they drop property taxes would be fantastic. But I do think that therefore property prices will rise. And I've said it since
now, the states that are driving the tax sales, there's a lot of great opportunity out there at somebody's peril. But I'm seeing a lot of it out there as abandoned properties out west in part of the state. I get listings probably 2 or 3 a day of property lots coming up for sales for just the tax value that's on it. So
Yeah, and Florida has also the top markets with the biggest real estate decline, right? So maybe this is another reason where they artificially increase real estate prices. All right, any other questions you guys might have? Anything else I can touch base on?
thank you much. Appreciate it.
Anytime, Jim, yeah?
Eric, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Marty.
Hey, if you are new to flipping, you've been studying the market, but you have not yet acquired your first property to flip. What can make you stand out if you perhaps want to do a JV with a more experienced investor?
Very good question. I always go back to my three-legged chair, or the three things that you have in a deal, right? In any given deal, if it's definitely for real estate, but if you're buying it, I think if you buy a car or anything else, this applies. You have money, time, or the deal. And what I see a lot with newbies is they think they have to master all three. You have to master just one of those, right? Like if you have money, you might not have time, and you might not have the deal. If you have time, you might not have the deal, or you might not have the money, right? Just figure out one of those three legs that you have. I do some partnerships and JVs with people here on the call, or I'm looking at deals with people here on the call, and then I'll bring the deal, or they bring the deal, and I'll bring the money, or I bring the deal, they bring the money, and together we figure out who has the time, right? So I have a lot. The reason I stopped promoting that I was doing mentorships or partnerships is that I had a lot of people reach out to me and say, "Hey, I want to be your partner." I'm like, "Oh, great, let's do it." Like, so what you got? You know, you got time, you got the deal, or you got money? No, I got none of that. Okay. So I have to give up my time. I have to give half my profit up, and you're just gonna. Or do you nothing? Okay, now it sounds like a win for somebody, but not for me, right? Like figure out when you reach out to somebody that you want to do a partnership with, it's like, what are you bringing to the table? It needs to be a win-win, right? It needs to be. You cannot just take people's time and money and not offer anything. As a matter of fact, my project manager, he came to me and says, "Hey, I wanna learn. I don't want nothing from you. I want to learn. I want to dedicate my time to you." And that's how we then start doing more stuff. And then he got start to get paid on stuff. But he came to me saying, "Hey, I want to get started in real estate. Can I just do stuff for you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but how do I pay you?" He said, "I don't want to get paid. I just want to learn." Right. So that is a strategy, Marty. And then and focusing on the three things. What do you bring? Do you bring the deal? Do you bring your time, or do you bring some money?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And if you don't have the money yourself, do you know people that have money that you can bring that will follow you to a deal, right? Raise money for the deal, so to say.
Yeah, I think that's maybe the part where I get a little stuck, because like the Kiavis of the world, see inexperienced investors and they will lend, and I don't know I don't know what other people are paying, but I don't tend to see, based on my exposure, that the rates typically vary that much. And maybe I just don't know what I don't know, but
yeah, and that's why there's some people that do a partnership with me, because because of my experience in flips and new builds, they get cheaper rates from our lenders, or are able to lend, right? So if that is your hurdle, but you're able to pay for the loan, then look for somebody that can sign off on the loan, so that you get a cheaper rate.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. question without, directly asking like what people are paying. Is it typical in the private lending and hard money world that everybody's paying double digits, like at least 10%?
So for my new builds, I pay lower 9%, sometimes even 8.
Okay.
1% origination fees, 1% extension. For my hard money, yes, I pay double digit. Yeah.
Okay.
And I can add, I do private lending, Marty, and I have people probably on this call, somebody pays me 15% per annum, somebody pays me 30% per annum. So it depends on the experience. So Eric has mastered all these. So he can squeeze people because he's good and people want to work with him. So he can get these 8, 9, 10, 15%. And
He calls it squeezing people. I tell Finn that my deals are in prime locations and therefore the risk allocation is lower.
okay, let me step back. I don't want to say anything. I mean, I'm just using my terminology, but no hard feelings, nothing, I'm just trying to answer, Marty, for you, that rates vary, very wide range, actually.
Yeah.
And as a new person, you will have to pay the premium. You will not get even 10, 15%. You will have to pay close to 20%, 25% on your first project because nobody will lend you. I mean, and then how do you get your experience? So I'm just sharing my thoughts because you asked that question, but
Yeah.
You might be able to find a good deal also. I don't know.
Kiavi hasn't been too bad, but I think sometimes I just get in my own way a little bit, but also I think, I don't know, I may need to have someone maybe look at my underwriting because the way I underwrite based on my capital stack tends to be so conservative that I don't tend to find something that is not super high risk. The numbers that I come up with tend to look like they're a bit out of my range, or the things that I think are in my range tend to look like the spread is just too thin.
I'm willing to look at the deal. If you send me that, you have my info. But I always tell people you gotta convince yourself not to do the deal. And if you're done trying to convince yourself that this is a bad deal and the numbers just keep looking too good, you gotta do it. You just gotta do it, right?
Yeah.
But if you're having to try this to convince yourself that this is a good deal, then it is the wrong deal.
Yeah,
Right?
never try to force the deal.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I've been really close on 2, but was able to kind of jump out. But I've underwritten quite a few, several. And for a good reason, I did not jump into those. But I think it's, there's some eagerness and a little bit of discouragement there to, when you're, I guess mainly when you're shopping the MLS.
So for those that don't know me, I know Marty, you do, but I was on food stamps in 2016. Bought my first property, 2 properties the first year, 5 the second, 20 the third year. That second year, I looked at 100 properties with this. He was an English guy, and he has so much patience. And there's a lot of people in real estate in Tria that I own a lot to, including him, because I would have a deal, and he said, "Let's go look at it." He was my lender. And he had nothing else to do. He just made a fortune selling a restaurant, and he liked it. I liked it, and I learned the most. I learned the most from underwriting properties and looking at the properties. I learned the most, and I gained such an advantage on anybody else because I never gave up. And from the 100 deals, I only put under contract 5%. But this is your school, Marty. This is now where you learn. People always get so frustrated with themselves. They're like, I still don't have a property. Relax. It's gonna come. You're doing the right thing, right? It's like driving a car. You're not 16 and stepping in a car and say, now I love Formula One. Now I'm a Formula One driver and I know how to cut the corners and no, it takes a little bit of time. and you just got to be patient with yourself. Or sometimes you need to have that teacher, right? That partner in a deal that says, hey, let me hold your hand. And while we do that, I'll take part of the profit. I'll help you through the process. But it's sometimes better to make 100% or 1% of $100 than 1% of $100 than 100% of $0. Right? Sometimes it just, but don't diminish the process. Like, you're learning, you're growing, you're gaining advantage on any of people that are not doing that. In my next life, I become a motivational speaker of a coach.
Well,
Yeah, but seriously, people underestimate the knowledge you gain from just sitting behind your computer and underwriting looking at deals.
Yeah, well, I remember sitting on the first one of these in September and joining TRIA in October. And, you know, this is my first crack at entrepreneurship. So I think for me, it's just been a very painstaking exercise in patience, which is good. But in the midst of that, I've had to ask myself, like, is this what you really want to do? And I'm like, yes. And at the same time, I've been protecting my capital for good reasons. So
Yeah.
it's a journey.
By the way, that's not going to go away. Like, I had that today. It's like, why do I just not go back to a freaking W-2? You know, I clock in and I clock out and I'm done. I can actually spend time with my kids. Yeah. But no, they say, be an entrepreneur, work 80 hours a week, don't have any benefits. And if you turn your hourly rate into what you're actually going to get paid, McDonald's pays better than that. But anyway, so I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no, good luck. If it was easy, everybody would be an entrepreneur or everybody would be in real estate. So don't forget that either. PK saying, hey, Eric, can you talk in one of your Fuquay Farina events about your project management? I mean, how you use the platform like Monday.com. Yeah, I can. See you, Tori. Appreciate you, man. I can definitely. It has been a presentation I used to give a lot, but I can. I don't have a speaker for this month yet, so maybe I do it this month. If take a look at the TRIA calendar, tria.com. I might bring that presentation back. I did a presentation quite a few times in the end of 24, 25, and I did that from Charlotte all the way to Wilmington, and people always loved it how I manage projects sitting in this little office where I'm at, flipping houses from Wilmington to Winston-Salem, from Rocky Mount to Fayetteville, and hardly leaving this office. So yeah, thanks, PK. I might do that.
I mean more of project management. Like, I've tried Monday.com. I cannot figure out everything. Like, but how to use the project management tool? Like something like, I'm open to use any tools, but any one of the tools that maybe what you're using. I'm not asking for your general presentation. But I have seen that, Eric. But Eric, yeah, definitely that is interesting as well. Please, do that again.
Yeah, I think
more of a project management perspective. You can have in depth.
Yeah, I can more than happy to show you. I'll actually show it here on the call, and I know. Hold on. Go back. I know this goes online, so it stays online. So I'll show some properties that we have closed on. But here's how I manage it, right? Like this Glenwood property that I have on the market right now. I fill out the address down here. I have all the line items, what I paid, right? So here you can see how I paid, what I paid, what I had to pay. What I do here in this section if it wants to load, is all my files. So if I any draw tracker, any security, any certificate of the CO, anything that I might need, the HUD statement, anything that I might need at some point, my my closing documents, everything is in here. I know from looking at this one line that this project, we had a rehab budget on this project for 185,000. We spent 220,000, so we went 35,000 over budget. That is a 19.1%. So if I calculate all of these percentages up together, I have an average overage of 19, somewhere between 17 and 19% that I average go over. As you can see here, 20%, 15, 16%, 4%, 41%, 13%. So that's how I manage my stuff. This is stuff that I have sold and or done with. But yeah, that I don't get paid by Monday, by the way. So this is not a sponsorship call or whatever. I love it. Monday is just basically an Excel sheet on steroids. You can change it. You can do make it the way you want to do it. Right now, we're working on forecasting. If you email me at Eric@RRP Rental, I'll put it in the chat. You can also get my deal analysis that I have generated, and that is also in Monday. Meaning, you throw in any deal you do, you new build or flips. I look at three numbers: purchase price, rehab, and ARV. And if I fill those three numbers in on an Excel sheet, I get a ARV, or I get a projected profit, and based on that, I make an offer. That's how I run my budgets. So a little bit there, PK, but I can do a presentation on project management and how I manage right now. Somebody asked me that on Saturday. I have 15 projects that I'm currently doing, with 3 more coming. And those 15 projects, we're building 3, 8. Yeah, we're building. I think we're building 30 homes or something like that. So,
yeah, that would be very cool. Yeah, very interesting topic. I was trying to suggest because these days, like AI, like artificial intelligence, like automations and things like that, because these are very time-consuming, tedious tasks, right?
Yeah.
We can implement some automations, right? We can make it a little bit efficient, like sending an email to lender, on a periodic basis, so that they are up to date on the project. Those things, if we can do in any sort of platform, that would be very helpful just for the general audience.
Yeah. My lenders, and you know that I've showed you this before, but for those that haven't, but my lenders. So going back to this Glenwood property again. By the way, it's on Zillow, but my lenders get every week or every month on the 1st. It doesn't matter when the 1st is. Can be a holiday. On the 1st, they're gonna get an email, and it has all the links to the property, like this, all the progress every month. This is what we've done. Here's where we are, right? Like, I like following people that are more experienced like me. And I once heard Brendan Turner, who we all know from Big at Pocket, say, he told me a story that he had 2 loans, and on both loans he was losing 100,000. On one loan, he was okay, whatever. On the other loan, he was super pissed. The loan he was okay, whatever on, was the loan that the operator, we are operators. I'm an operator. I operate a loan. I operate a project. On one of the projects, the operator had not communicated to Brendan that the project was in trouble, but always said, "Oh no, it's going well. Oh no, it's going well. Oh no, it's going well." The other project, the operator had always communicated, "Hey, we're running into some issues. Hey, there is, so he saw it coming. If you're raising money, if you're managing other people's money and you're managing a project, communication is key. If you're giving the wrong communication to your lenders, or if you're going to hide because the loan goes south, and I had loans go south. I'm not anything special, but I communicated it. I have never lost money for lenders because by communicating with my lenders, I was able to find a solution that worked for them and that worked for us, right? But if I would have put my head in the sand and say, "See you later, I am going to pretend that this is not here," things would have gone completely differently. So if things go wrong, ask for help, but communicate to people, and you'd be surprised how willing people are to work with you. The benefit for you to work with a private hard money person is that you are able to work and figure things out. They're not Wells Fargo, they're not Bank of America. You're able to work things out and work and rework the terms so that everybody wins. A lender does not want your property. A lender wants your payment. Just remember that. Any other questions? I keep this picture up on here. We're working on it. As you can see, there's an AI picture. My head looks a little bit bigger than it is now. So, hey, and that's now looking at it, it hardly looks like me. But anyway.
That's the fun with AI.
AI doesn't like my face. It always does it wrong. But hi, guys. I hope to see you. Don't forget that next Thursday, we have the TRIA main meeting again. If you don't know what the TRIA main meeting is, it's the main meeting that we have for TRIA. We generally have around 100 people that come. I should know this, but the topic of the next meeting, I'll look this up. The March 12th, we have the main meeting, how to find short-term rentals with a net profit of 50K. So how to find short-term rentals with 50K. I have a short-term rental. I'm definitely going to be there. He has a way of finding properties in the mountains and at the beach that, I'm very interested in this profile. We already have a good amount of people signed up. So this is going to be a topic that a lot of people want to listen to. So sign up. If you're not a member, it's $10. If you are a member, it's $20 a month, or it is $200 a year. And we provide food at the main meeting as well. We do have other meetings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, like I said, 18 meetings throughout the month. I do my Q&A on the first Monday of every month, and I do another show and tell on March 28th. So for everybody, I hope on April 6th, which is my next Q&A, I will be coming to you telling you that interest rates are back below 6% and that the real estate market has increased. I do expect that the nice weather is going to increase activity and then we're going to see the uptick. So until then, stay safe. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your time. Thanks for all your questions. And you have my email address. So if you need anything, email me and then we'll go from there. Have a good evening. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much.